Nice to be here today. And the thing that I had on the easel was a couple egrets, I believe, feeding the mother feeding the daughter, but you just had one beak and you couldn't read what was going on. But that thing is priceless. Why? Because my father did it. Now, years ago, when he was alive, he came out to Santa Barbara, and I took him over. We met Claude Buck, and I actually painted a portrait of my father in the studio. And then I took a photograph, so I had to kind of finish it from the photograph because they went on back to Minnesota. When I sent it to him, he took it all over town. He was more proud of me doing that than having played baseball. But I remember once, and what I was reminded of Sunday night, Don, he says, "Oh, gee, the way you talk, you go on and on and on." Well, I was back in Minnesota, and I was working on a 3-foot by 4-foot painting of this man, and I had it to be my father. You couldn't necessarily tell it was him. It was kind of a profile, sitting down on rocks and painting. 3-foot by 4-foot, huge size. So I felt I needed to do a few touches on it while I was there. I might have sent it to him and then it needed a few more touches. But anyway, I was working on it and he said, "Do you need to talk so much?" Gosh, that kind of hurt a little bit. I love to talk, especially when I'm painting. It kind of is thinking out loud is what it's doing. But that was great. So what I want to show you is something that I have been doing, and I'm going to first show you the. I guess I better turn this over so you can see what was working on. This is a painting that I wanted to work on, or make a copy of to show you. Gosh, Lori, I think I got that centered just right.
Yeah, you could tip up just a little tiny bit. No, the other up. There we go.
Thank you so much. So what I thought I would do, Billy, is I would put a buck wash on a canvas, on a white canvas. I don't work on white canvases. I usually have them tinted with pink or blue or gray or so on. It's just my way of doing it, and maybe because that's the way Claude did it. So what I did was put a wash on a canvas, and then I have the image of the horse on it, but I want to show it to you. We'll put this one will go higher, and here comes the image. Are you ready for this? America, ready? Oh. And what in the world is that? That's what I thought after I did it. And I thought, so I'm going to put the horse in here, the pinto in there. And it almost looks like a horse going up there. So I put a little kind of chalk to show where I was going to maybe make the head. But it's amazing. You look around, you think, gee, that looks like a horse's head too. Maybe even over in here. But what I had to do, because the way this thing flowed, this looks like the horse is near some water. So that's what I'm going to have. And then a little incline and some trees and a strong light there. But I'll start on the horse.
Buck.
I hear you. Oh.
Did you take a photo of this before you started by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
See, I'm going to just check that, but I'm trying to think. Let's see what I have. I have a horse, not a horse. The original, I have a photograph of that, and I have a photograph of this stage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know if I sent it to you yet or not. So let's start with down at the legs. I have Van Dyke and white. This is Van Dyke brown, and this is white.
Buck,
And you know,
Buck, is it possible for you to move the camera or that so we can see a little more of the picture, because the people that are on the call are blocking up part of it.
so can you move that to the side?
Yeah, you can move the people down to the bottom or up to the top
Or the side?
or to the other side. Yeah. Can everyone else see the canvas okay? Okay.
Yes. Or if
Yeah.
they go up to the top of their people where that, on the far left, that small little negative sign will block the people out.
I got it. Thank you. This is my first time doing this.
Oh, well, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so I have the equal Van Dyke brown and white. And I'm looking to put this on the legs. So I'll start on the far leg here. Oh, is there a mirror on the call, Lori? That's my sister using her daughter's computer, Amira's. Anyway, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to answer.
Well, I don't see, but if she's on, go ahead and unmute and say hi to Buck.
Uh-oh. Okay, now come on this side with so I filled that whole leg and hoof in with that mixture. And I'm taking the same mixture and I'm going to put a little on this side, and I'm kind of retaining the outline right now. You can see I've done it here and I'll do it here. I'll come back with Van Dyke brown eventually and make a strong outline, but I don't want to lose the drawing.
Is that drawing in chalk, or did you do it otherwise, a different way?
Say that again, Billy.
Did you do that in chalk, or did you use white paint?
Oh, I made a tracing of this, and then I used a white carbon, and then I used just a little white acrylic because I didn't want to lose the drawing. Yeah, that's a very valuable question. Let's see, I don't have any over there. I will put, oh, I see where I have it. I do have it. It'll go up here, and eventually the little highlight of the main will come over that. You'll find that each of these areas that they're put in flat, but they're, let me bring this down and show you. See, they're being put in flat, and then next time we'll be adding little lights. We'll get some form in now, but the additional little lights are after this is on. And I really prefer working on a dry canvas. The minute I say that, do I really like working on a dry canvas? Yes. I put just on a paper towel, I pushed just a little bit of the magic clear in on the horse because I wanted this paint to move freely, and at the same time I was hesitant. I thought, well, you did those lines in acrylic, they won't wipe away, but I wanted to make sure. Let's see, I've come down here. There, a little bit over here. I do have a line there for the edge of the muscle that I want to save, and there's one here as well. Okay, let's go over in, this will be in between the darks that'll be there and a little here. I'll come up just, I put just a little chalk line along there, and I almost lost it when I was putting on the medium a little bit there, the clear. But it's all right. It's all right. Now my dad would say, I wish you'd talk more. Okay, let's go to the back side of this. And I just dipped in a little bit with the Magic Clear. I'll skip across here. I'll come over here to the rear of the horse. And like I say, this is all new to me. I haven't done it with the splash method before, the buck splash. Splash for cash. That would be a good model. Okay, come down in here. Now the one hoof there, I'm going to have to do something because he might be a religious horse, but he can't walk on water. So I'll have to have this one a little bit in the water. And these two are kind of on the land there. So it's just a little stream, but not much. At least at this stage, it isn't much. Okay, come to here. I'll put this in, and right now these values are the same. So I will have to put in some straight Van Dyke Brown in there. So for now, I'll just stop short of coming clear to the edge so I don't disturb that. This one's hidden a little bit. You don't see its formation as much. Now, is there any more? We got there, there, there. Let's put just a little bit in the tail while we have it. Okay, now I'll mix up a color that we'll put on for the highlights on the horse, and then eventually we'll put on the kind of the burnt sienna-ish, and I think we're using straight burnt sienna on it at this stage. So what do I mix? I have my notes right here, and they say 7 white, 1 yellow ochre, 1 Van Dyke brown. So here comes my white. You're going to be 7. Let's take just a little bit away. And then 1 Van Dyke brown, 1 yellow ochre. Are you? Yeah, you can see that. Oh, and it comes out. It's not white, which means we can build to the lights, build to the lights. So and eventually we'll go quite light on this. But right now, we're just putting in a kind of a foundation. So this will go in here. You can see that's quite a ways from being white. But boy, when we put on the impact, it's going to be so great. Oh. So Charmaine, is Gordon watching this?
He is. He's right here.
Oh, that's wonderful. I get at the end, you need to put him so I can see him too.
Okay.
Oh, he's my friend that I've never met. Okay, nice curve there. And we'll put this down here like that. Okay, I see a couple other places to put this, and then we'll come back and blend a little bit, the two values together. So we'll come here, and you know, in the olden days, I'd be able to say, okay, we come next to the shank and down to the such and such and such and such. But I didn't do that this time. I don't know if it's laziness or what. Now here, when I'm putting this on, I'm going to come right close to that edge, and we'll probably have later we'll have a little outline or something on that. I want to make sure that this is wide enough, so I'll push this over like that. Okay, now on the back, we have just, oh, not much, a little bit like there, but then it gets rather strong right at that hook. And same thing with the tail. Let's go just, we'll go strong there. And notice as I do it, I have, this is, oh, I love that brush. That's a Badger bristle. And I'm using it kind of sideways. These are Alexander brushes. I hope you know that. You must have those. You can't do it without. Ugh. And Lori will say, thank you, Buck. Good plug. Okay, let's see what we want else to do. There's a little bit down at the bottom here. And then I'm looking at right in here, but I think I'll wait till next time. Why? I don't know. Let's put a little bit there. Yeah, that's where it would be and needs to be. Okay, now what I want to take is zigzagging. We'll leave the tail as it is, but on this, when I say zigzag, the idea is just to soften it together. So you zigzag and then you soften together. Over here, it's a little sharper, but it's soft. I guess what I'm saying is it's a little more definite, but it's soft. And kind of zigzagging, the aspect of not having a lot of wet paint too runny gives me great control. So I, like I suggested, I took a paper towel and just spotted in a little bit of magic clear so it would go on more freely. I'm going to go up just a little bit because that's such an important curve right there. Oh gosh, what a beautiful horse. No wonder you're looking back at it. Okay, so now let's see, where else do we go? Let's take just a little bit of the mane. And when I put these on, I'm going to kind of make it almost an S shape, but at a slanted S. You see that? It would sure be nice if somebody said, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. But we muted you, so you can't say that. Lynn could. Now, those are not very light. They will be lighter. And this goes right down to its neighbor. And we even come on what it appears to be a little bit onto the neighbor. So when we put the dark on, you'll feel like some of this is over it. So let's go ahead and put the dark on now. Boy, you feel like you can reach through there. This is burnt sienna, straight. And again, not too much, if you can do it almost dry brush would be good. There's a lot of control in dry brush. Now I'm making definite, push out till it hits there. Ooh, this, it's gonna be such a nice spot when we have the light against it. It takes quite a paint because I want it thinned out. I want it to hit some bulk to it. I love that vitality in the acrylic. You know, I'm going to experiment around. Uh, my thought is to take just one color, let's just say blue, and put it on and let it thin out and move around, because I like some of these feelings. And I think if I had the whole canvas, just kind of thinness and maybe just a little darker blue, a couple places, it would be conducive to make a nice paint. Oh. I so appreciate you guys coming. I love doing this, and with being kind of prisoners in our own homes, it's nice to have something. And thanks to Lori and Dawn making it happen and keeping you there alert to it. In fact, it's kind of give back in appreciation for all that to support programs and merchandise and so forth. Here, I'm going to put on the dark so that don't have the white line in between there. Here, I'd leave a little white line. Why? I don't know. Okay, as we come down here, we can talk later about when two edges meet, you know, how you separate them, where you kind of soften the edge of the distant one so it detaches from the one in front. I find on these, and maybe eventually on the others too, that I'm not needing to save the outline. On the back here, I want to come just, it has just a little curve, a little out, so it's not one continuous line. That's a brush would be helpful. What about a mop brush? You are sitting in the back of the bus. Oh, okay. I was just thinking, okay, don't get him dirty, because we could use him for the light areas. But let's call that enough, and then we'll come over to here. It takes a little quantity, otherwise it'll thin out too much. When we get the horse covered here, and then we can ask, you know, if anybody has any questions to that point, rather than waiting to the end where they might say, why did you do this, or why didn't you do this? Just a nice shape in there. Okay, let's, there is one little dot. I don't know if we should put it on yet or not, but right in here. Okay, now let's go to the head of the horse. And you certainly, if you make a copy of this, you certainly can do whatever you want in the background. If you want to go on a white, pink, gray background, that's fine. I think the horse will have been handled the same way regardless of the background. I know on the original, I have just a little kind of weeds up front, and there's one that's very strategically placed. It just comes at the bottom there, so sends that back slightly. We'll see what we do on ours. I think for now, I'm going to leave that eye as being light, so I'll be able to find it more when I put it in with dark. Here's a good jaw. And of course, those that know horses know there's another name or term other than jaw. Please don't unmute and tell me, it embarrass me. Okay, now what about the ear? The near ear? Oh. And then I'm going to take a small brush and just a little bit, let's see, what do I want? This is red, orange, and ochre. So it's just going to be brush mix. So there's ochre, there's orange, and here's red. What are you going to do with that? I guess it's too red. I'm going to take and put it right here and right here in front. Now I realize that just a little hard to see that near ear. So I took a little bit of Van Dyke Brown, so you get just a little truer shape to that. And I'll even with the back ear there, I'll just slant out a little bit and come down. So, oh, while you're here, why don't you go ahead and put a little bit of the dark in the eye? Good idea. See, it pays to talk. Then I can hear you. All right, so we have maybe just a little tapping with the mop brush. And the way I want to do this is I'm tapping just a little bit. I'm pulling a little bit towards the darker, the gray, but I don't want to lose that shape. Now, what about down below? Well, down below, the one leg, we just blended this, and we're not doing any blending of the dark against there. But down below, I have right in here, and let's see, I don't know, are you the brush? Can you do the job? Sometimes it helps, and this time it will. I put a little bit of this light on the brush, so as I blend, it will kind of push it out. Okay, then again with the mop brush. Is there another name for that? I call it mop. I think that's it. Okay, now these back there, we'll just leave that a little bit. Oh, gee, there's sure some good light in there. Okay, you talked me into it. I don't know why I'm listening to you, but just a little bit lighter in there. Like I say, next time we'll come and we'll put stronger light there, and we'll put stronger lights up in here. When I say stronger, they're not going to be competing with the lightest light. And we'll put a little variety of color on the body there. Okay, we sort of where the May is happening here. I guess we better push over that dark a little bit so we don't save any white line there. These meeting will be good enough. Okay, other places, just, oh, what happens there? Well, we need to have a little bit of this. So I'm kind of reaching around now with the idea of dishing little white drawing. What I think would be helpful is let me write a little first. I'm pushing in. I'm very aware of where the outline is, and see, it works. I was fearful I'd kind of lose the draw, but I don't. What about the back? Like that. There may be places that there's still a little bit of the drawing showing, but that's okay. Now what I want to do, I think it'd be helpful, is to take some Van Dyke brown. We'll go just, let's see if that works or not. A little bit on there. It shows up the lower I go. Is that low enough? Yes. And somebody asked, do you ever get tired of your own jokes? Well, if I hadn't used it before. This, I'm not going to go with that one because the dark is going to be cut away. If I put the on there, it'll look wrong.
Hey, Buck.
Hello.
You're breaking up a little bit. Do you have your phone right there?
The house phone?
No, your cell phone. Is your phone on your internet?
I don't know. I guess.
Do you have you have an iPhone, right?
Yes.
Is it right there? Do you mind if we just do this? See if we can take that off just to see if because what's happening is you're blanking out a little bit, like your internet connection's bad or something.
Okay, so I've just slid the power off.
Okay, that would probably do it. Let's go ahead and give that I'm guessing it'll do it. Let's give it a try. Thank you.
Okay.
We want to hear every word.
Can you hear me now? All right, let's go ahead. So we have this pretty much covered with what we want at this stage. And I'm going to go over, and you don't have to do this, but this came out in my acrylic looking like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of character on that horse's head. And I'm taking just a little small brush, just a little ear there, a little ear there. Oh, this is so good. How did you ever learn horses? Was raised on a farm in Minnesota. Gee, where's your, didn't that horse have a good ear? He sure didn't. Let me erase it a little bit. Let's see, let's take some yellow and it's nice to see you mess up, Buck. It makes you human. Okay, so I'll put just a little eye in there and a little nostril and see what we have. Okay, now what I thought I would do is kind of block in some of the the background area. And I'm going to take first, I have yellow, clean, pure yellow, okay. Clean, pure yellow and white. That looks like about 4 white, 1 yellow. And this is where I'm placing that. I'm going to pull down close to the horse. Put a little bit through there. And then what I want to have is a feeling of some foliage. So first I'll take the burnt umber. And see, the minute I do that, I get the feeling that I can put some foliage up there and he'll feel like he's kind of in the shadows. When I look at the original, I have strong light in here, which I intend to put on next week, but I won't bring it back quite so much. So it's more hitting in here. And this is why I love just to experiment with things and not be tied to what somebody else said you need to do or you should do. Do your own thing, do your own thing. Okay, now I'll take and
sorry to interrupt. I just got a text from someone who's on the call that says, before you paint over it, do you see the cat that the horse is sniffing?
Down in here?
Yeah, down in there. You see the cat. The cat's head is looking up. It's got white underneath the chin. I think that's.
Oh, so this is kind of the body. White, and this is the eye.
No, I'm thinking the Sue. You know, it came from Sue. So Sue, jump on and tell. But I'm thinking you're seeing the white under the chin. The head is to the right of the horse's nose. Sue, you want to? Is that what you saw, Sue?
Yeah, if you can see on my phone there, I'm holding it up. I drew a little outline of it.
Just a minute, Sue. Let me spotlight you. Let me find you just a minute. Where are you?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you holding your phone up?
Yes.
Okay, I see you now.
She's worth looking for.
Okay. All right, you see that? Okay, go ahead and hold it up there, Sue. Bring it a little closer.
So she's calling.
There's the head.
Can you see? Look.
You're amazing. Put down your camera. Let's see. I saw another horse's head while we were looking around, but I don't remember where it was. I was going to point it out to you, but I guess I can't see it. Okay, I'm going to take my yellow and white, and I put just a little extra on the brush just to push this around. And we'll go ahead with a little, taking some phthalo blue and mixing in with that gray color we had on the horse's body. So all week, Sue, I'll be looking at that down there, thinking, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, now let's come with the sap green. I'm going to take just plain pure sap green first. and come right above the horses behind. And somebody will say, I like it better before you did that. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to put a little green over in here too, so it isn't just an isolated tree up there. So the title of the picture, instead of, I don't know what, Lynn, do you remember what the title was? Or you didn't want to tell, or you?
I thought we just called it Pinto.
It may have been. Now it's called Follow Me. Follow me. I think in the next life, I really would like to be able to sing. And just, my wife was a great singer, but I never got any instructions. I got directions, leave the room, but no instructions. No, she's very kind and very good. And she's so loving. The stroke takes a toll, but she's a coming. Okay, doesn't that look good? Don't you feel like you're in kind of a shaded area here? Now, as I said down here, I'm taking the same blue and I'm just pushing this down just a little bit, just to make sure that the horse is not sinking. Let's come down here a little bit too. And then we'll put just a small amount of water there. This is still the blue and white. And I need to put just a little green here too, because that is so close to the color of the horse. I'm going to take a small amount of burnt sienna and just raise that up a little bit so that horse has just a little more form. Otherwise, he's not going to follow that beauty if she's not a beauty. Okay, so let's come under the horse a little bit. Here's a little green here, and you would see some light coming down below that's coming through. Let's see, let's first just push that around, make sure that's filled in. And then let's see where the light would come down, 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 down. Well, maybe a little bit there. Let's try that. Yeah, that's good. I don't want to have it so your eye goes over that way, so it goes here. We can have just a little yellow and green equal parts. Use the finger. Just a little bit in there. It sort of separates it. You have that big, beautiful neck and so on. I'm going to push this down just a little bit so it's not sharp. And then what would kind of help if we put just a little light, and I'm taking orange and white, equal orange and white. There you see it. Oh. And its neighbor can have a little bit. Come down just a little lower. And I'm going to even take just pure white. So the minute you strengthen that, and then you need to strengthen this. And possibly just a little bit behind there. I hope it's working for you guys. I've really loved doing it, and it's a lot of adventure because I haven't done it before. I have a little orange on the brush. I want to soften that slightly. I hope that second horse was a good idea. You don't have to do it if you don't want. Anyway, that Lori, that's kind of where I would stop on this one. If there's questions or comments, let's have them.
Sounds good, Buck.
What size canvas are you using?
18 by 24.
What did you do the wash on that with?
It was with acrylic. It was orange and blue and red and white.
And you just made it really watery?
Yes, I watered the canvas beforehand. Spray it, not over watery. Put little chunks of paint on the canvas. Take a knife and push it around. Further spray it, and then let it go up and down and move around till it has something that looks pretty good. Set it down, and then go back and check it once in a while, because you hope the floor is level, but if it isn't, it might just run all one way.
Kathy, is that you asking the question?
Yes.
Okay, do you get our daily tips?
I don't know. I'll sign up for them if I don't, though.
Okay, because we actually showed that as a tip, I think, yesterday.
Oh.
Doing that technique. So if you don't get the tip, sign up for it, and we might be able to get that tip to you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm taking the finger and just I saw a spot there. I didn't want it to be competing with what will be the light on the horse's tail.
Buck, when you went into the sky, into the top left corner, that phthalo blue and the second color, was that a 1-to-1?
Beats me.
Beats me too. That's why I'm asking.
No, it'd be more like it'd be more like
to the first color. The blue was added to the Van Dyke brown and white from the beginning.
Yeah. I think if you used 2 blue and 1 white would work.
Okay.
And then I've also found that when you put the wash on, or even put the background color on, that helps tighten up the canvas and pull off that piece of wood that always gets in the way. Like Tom said a thing the other day where you could wet them down, put them in the oven. But I found that putting the background in acrylic also helps to tighten up the canvases.
I don't understand that. I know I've wet a lot of back of the canvases to tighten it up. I never thought about it happening on the front. So if I had a sway in the canvas, I'd be wetting the back.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't understand the wetting the front.
No, I mean, when you put the paint on there and then after it dries, then it tends to tighten it up, and then it's like I'll put the acrylic on, and it'll be real loose, and then the next day when I go to paint on, it'll be nice and tight after the paint dries.
My goodness, I would almost question the canvas if it's that porous to go through. But anyway, if it works, it works.
Right. Anybody have any questions or comments?
So will we get a sketch of the horse?
Do
you have a picture of the sketch, or did you just sketch it on there? Well, actually, what you'll get, if you send Dawn an email, she'll send you the photo of what he started with, and then you can make a sketch off of that because you can see the white chalk on the photo. Does that work?
Yes, that works.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can turn this on.
Hey, Buck, this is Mike. I'm just totally blown away. You have some imagination. In the baseball terminology, you hit a 4 big here, my friend. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's a nice
Thank you.
comment. You're very welcome. Let me see if I can, okay, 082858. Okay, I'm going to show you. Here, you can see that, can't you? Let's see, how should I turn that?
Closer to the camera rather than, okay, there we go, okay.
Let's see. Okay, you can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's the one I'm looking at. This is the one that has the drawing on it. And I hope you can see that all right.
Yes.
The drawing on it. And you certainly do not have to do the wash, or if you do the wash, whatever colors you choose to use. See, if I were going to duplicate this, I would have no plans on, I need to have the red here and the yellow there and work it around. I wouldn't do it that way. Mm-hmm. So just, I love this splash method. I don't know if I'll ever paint again without it.
Hey, Buck, would you mind sending maybe the starting photo, then this photo, and then the one without the splash background, and maybe they can get a tracing off of that other one easier.
Let's see. I don't have one that doesn't have the splash.
No, I mean the two photos you just showed us.
Yeah, I'll send you the one for today, the one I'm looking at, and the one with just the white outline.
Perfect. That'd be perfect. Then, and then if anybody on the call wants it, email Dawn, DAWN at alexanderart.com, and she will forward, once she has them. She doesn't have them yet, but as soon as she has them, she'll forward those 3 photos to you. Okay, any other questions or?
Did the addition of this horse over there, does that add to it or does it hurt it?
I like it. It adds to it.
I think it adds to it also.
Great.
I do too. And I wish
think it's amazing.
Some of the other horses in.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing a horse painting. This is Jenny. I love the horses.
Good. Well, you can see it wasn't really hard on the horse once you have the drawing and you have where the shapes are. I mean, that's very simple. One value, second value, straight, dark out of the tube. So it's not a difficult thing once you have the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Buck.
Yes.
You said don't try to apply your splish splash in any sort of method so that you'll end up with colors in certain places. Is that correct?
Well, it sort of is, but you really can do it with a little bit of planning and saying, okay, I want some blue over here because I'm going to do a kind of a sky. I want a little yellowish green down here because I'm going to do the water. No, you can kind of plan a little bit rather than just throw it on and say, let's see what happens. If you kind of know your subject, then you certainly can use a little wisdom on where you want to place the acrylics.
So when you were doing this one, did you wait to decide to put the horse on after you had done the splashing method?
This horse?
Yes.
No, I knew I was going to do this horse.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'll do a splashing method just because I bid on the landscape and I liked it so much.
But you did the splashy method and then you moved it around to see which way you want it. You turned it all around to see which way you wanted it to be.
Absolutely. But the minute I saw this down here, I thought that looks so much like water in a creek. So that's what led me to do that.
And then
that's why you didn't go with that original background with the buttes and stuff. Is that correct?
Well, I was just open for some, what can you say?
Something new.
Yeah,
Creativity.
yeah. I wanted to a little bit of adventure.
An
Well,
inspiration.
Yes.
whatever your decisions were, it's great. It's just looking wonderful.
Well, thank you. It's funny how you can find success in what you're doing if you just kind of say your prayers and do your work.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Right.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Thank you as always, everybody. Thank you, Boss Lori, Nolan.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This
All right.
is lovely, guys.
You know, love the
Back on Friday to finish this, or not finish it. I don't know whether he'll finish it, but he'll be on the beginning of Friday.
Yeah, Friday, I think we can come pretty close to finishing it.
Buck, will you leave the bottom where the water is? Will you leave it that way it looks right now?
That's my plan. My plans would be to perfect the horse, adding lights and form and so on everything. And let me just bring this down. See, this is what I'm looking at, what I'll be doing Friday. I'll go stronger lights. I add little character, but lighter shapes there. And then you look on the legs. There's that almost little kind of pinkish tone on that, and a little bit on the mane. So, and tail. There's things to do, but they'll be very subtle.